I am MetaBagel. Most of you might know me as Jabagel. I'm one of the co-founders of MetaReflect along with I'm Alex. I've been investing in crypto for over 2 years now, but I've taken the team and development side of it a little more seriously in the past year. Um, my expertise is mostly in marketing, but within this past year, I've done some work in Solidity and try to get better at that. But joining me is I'm Alex, who's also the other co-founder. I'll let him, introduce himself. But other than that, we have some other team members that aren't here at the moment, such as publicists and graphic designers and things of the such. So Alex, take it away. Alex.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, my name is Malik. I'm the co-founder of MetaReflect and the CEO. So my previous expertise, I used to do e-commerce. I still own like a couple of e-commerce websites before I got into crypto. I've been in the crypto space for around a year and a half now, and I've been with Steven for the last, working on this project for the last 4 months, I guess. So I think we can now proceed with the presentation about the project.
Yep, I'll share my screen.
And I noticed on the website it's a V2 launch. Is it? You've got an airdrop for V1 holders. I was wondering why you were doing a relaunch or a version 2.
Yeah, so the first version was run by a separate team. I was taken to that version to help with marketing and such. And then that team kind of dispersed and left the project. I was trying to keep it alive, but then wasn't really working so well given I was the only person. And then I wanted to do an airdrop and make a new project, and that's when I'm Alex had reached out and we started coming up with this. And yeah, we're airdropping V1 holders just so they don't get burned by the project that they had invested in.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, so that team is no more. They all dispersed and went their own separate ways, and then we formed a new team and starting things from the ground floor.
You've got a larger community going forward, yeah, because you're airdropping them, so they're involved from the get-go. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Alrighty, I'm just gonna get my screen. Get my screen share going here. If it works. Oh boy. Malix, do you think you'll be able to share your screen? It's not seeming to let me share my screen with Telegram. Let's see. Okay, hold on. I think we should be good now. Oh. Hello?
Yeah,
I can't see it yet.
What is going on? Let's try this again. My bad. Of course, I'm on my laptop and it's not working as expected. Max, if you could share your screen, that would be good. I can run people through it, but I can't get my screen shared.
The VPN, it
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
show
Okay.
VPN.
The only way I can get it, yeah, is I'm gonna have to leave Telegram quickly to close it and get this shared. Is that a problem if I leave it for a second and then reopen it?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
We won't shut this because we've got the AMA at the top and everything, but you're going to leave and come back and then it should work, do you think? Yeah.
Yeah. I had to give access to share my screen. I'm on a MacBook and you have to give access to Telegram, so now I have to restart Telegram just so it approves it or something.
Yeah, we can wait.
Okay, yeah, it'll be like a minute. My apologies.
Okay, so in around a minute, MetaBagel should be back for investors, and we'll be sharing the screen and going through the project. Stay tuned.
Alrighty, let's see if this works now. Boom, there we go. Great. Can you guys hear me by chance?
I can't see the screen, but I can hear you, but sometimes not everyone can see.
Yep. Let's just get this. Get the screen shared. Hopefully that's it. Can you see the MetaReflect website?
Yep.
Cool.
It's working now.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
That was kind of a pain in the ass. We're just going to take you through a quick little tour of the website, some notable features, and then move to the white paper and the dashboard. So starting off with the website, pretty straightforward. You have a launch, which is in 3 hours and 30 minutes. Super excited for that. So definitely keep an eye on the watch and make sure you're there for that. Moving down the way, we have a little intro on where the taxes go and kind of how they work. Then we have a small brief intro on what is MRF, kind of how the buyback works and how you receive your 8% on every transaction. Then we have our BUSD rewards. This is just a little calculator that you can use to calculate how much you'll receive based on the circulating supply, your total holdings, and the daily volume. Moving down the system, you can see we have our ecosystem, which lays out just a few of our utilities that we're planning. We have our rewards, dashboard, staking and farming, our NFT Marketplace, play to earn game, pre-sale Launchpad, and then we also have a couple other utilities that are not disclosed yet, but that we've kind of hinted and released some ideas about. Moving down, we have the tax distribution. There's 8% BUSD, 4% marketing, 1% liquidity, and 1% buyback and burn. This is variable and will and can be changed depending on the phase of the project and where we're at and where we see these taxes needing to go. Then we have a really brief roadmap, just kind of with the utilities above and when we expect to see them coming out. Below that, it's kind of how to buy our tokens. Shows a little bit about pre-sale and exchange rate. And then it had our whitelist giveaway link here, but obviously that has since closed. Then we have our token distribution. This is also fairly straightforward. You can see we have 10% V1 holders. So those are just the holders that migrated from the last project. Then we have the 27% going towards the pre-sale with 18% liquidity. And then we have 37% of tokens locked. These are being used for our utilities such as staking and our play to earn game. So yeah, these are locked, and there's a lock on our website. Well, on our Telegram, it's pinned. You can also see it in the BSC scan, the wallet that's locked. And then you have 5% founders and team, which is vested over 2 years, which means it's not all released at once. And then we have the 3% marketing and strategic partners. And then as you can see at the bottom, this is just a brief intro of the team and who we are. Moving forward to the white paper, you can see pretty straightforward, but more in depth, starting with a quick introduction on when we started and kind of what we're doing, how it works in short, extremely brief, with our anti-whale and buy and burn. Below that, we have our mission. Basically, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to create a long-term rewards token on the BSC chain that's sustainable and self-funded. A lot of these projects tend to die out after the hype's dead, so we're trying to create something that doesn't die with hype and doesn't depend on hype to run. So yeah, and then below that we have our values. Super into these core values and upholding these so that community members and investors can know what they're getting into and who's running the project. So we have transparency, longevity, community, and integrity. These are just some of the 4 main things that we believe to be fundamental in a project and what we're upholding to make this project as open and transparent as possible. Below that, we have further information on our utilities. So the first utility we're going to be releasing is the dashboard, the D app. This is going to be holding our staking and farming platform, as well as area to view your rewards and how many rewards have been sent out. This is also going to show you a little bit about MRF and its recent progress with some charts and some numbers. And we'll get into that after this white paper. But then we have staking and farming. So we're going to have a couple different options for staking pools. We're going to have stationary staking pools, which are tied to MetaReflect and earning more MetaReflect. And then we're going to have rotating staking pools, which will hold other tokens or other projects, so that you'll be able to stake on our platform and earn other projects as rewards. And that will just open up the door for us to partner with other large communities and find projects with like-minded goals and set up longer-term partnerships through these staking pools. And then we'll also have LP farming as well. And also same thing, straightforward. And we'll have staking for stablecoin or BNB as well, just to provide someone or investors with more stable staking options. Below that, we have the NFT Marketplace. This is just going to be where people can buy, sell their NFTs, and this will be utilized for our play to earn game and how our NFTs are involved in that. This will also be utilized in a later utility that we're planning that's on a much larger scale, but this NFT Marketplace is pretty straightforward, seen with most projects, and that'll be released in Q3 of 2022. Then we have our play to earn game. This is also where our NFTs are going to be used mostly, but this will basically allow you to log in and earn rewards daily just by competing missions or playing against other players. You'll be able to earn real in-game currency that's worth something. You'll be able to earn NFTs that you can go back and sell. And we hope this to be very fun so that people want to play the game, and 5 minutes of playing this game really helps benefit you in the long run. Below that, we have the MRF wallet. This will just be a place where users can go to buy, sell, and swap your crypto and see and track all your progress. It should be very easy and very user friendly. And we're hoping to get an app version of that out as well. We'll start with the web version, but that's just something that's going to be super user friendly to new investors and allow them to get into crypto with minimal knowledge. And then we have Project Walhalla. This is one of our projects that we haven't disclosed fully. But in a sense, this project, what we're looking to do with it is we're looking to take all of the revenue generated from it and put it directly back into MetaReflect. We're seeing this to be a very large scale project and something that could bring in a good portion of revenue. So we're hoping that what we do is take that revenue and put it directly back into MetaReflect to keep the rewards pumping and keep the volume up. That will basically buy tokens and burn them, which will consequently give more rewards to its holders and decrease the supply, so that obviously the price action is more volatile. Moving down.
That's great that you'll have like it taxed when you're doing the buyback and burns from the Launchpad and from Project Walhalla.
Yeah, we're looking for like the Launchpad in this, as well as other smaller little utilities that we're looking to implement. We're hoping to take what we raise from that and put it back into the coin to keep that volume up and to keep the price action moving. We're hoping if we hit enough of these little utilities as well as some bigger utilities, we'll have enough spread to really see an impact on the chart. Moving below that, though, we also we do have Launchpad planned as well as some other small utilities that will be kind of bonus utilities should we successfully be able to get them in place. Then we have a little bit of our token distribution. This was seen on the first page as well, just a different layout of the chart here, but same thing. Then we have our tax allocation, 14% total. That's not going to change at all. It's going to be at 14%. The only thing that might change is where the percentages goes. We might take a little bit off marketing and put it to liquidity if we find that to be an issue or something that needs to happen, but it won't go above 14%. And then a little bit on our tokenomics. So we do reward in BUSD. We have an anti-whale, which is just a basic function that allows no one to sell more than a certain amount of the supply. It is set to 0.125%. So we had lowered it since we wrote this white paper, and we'll have to update that, but that's going to be variable as well. So if we find that to be something that needs to be changed, then we can do that. Looking at the tokenomics further, we have a 2-year vesting period. Just kind of shows the investors that we're here for the long run. We're looking to take this seriously, and we hope you guys do as well. And that's why we're vesting for 2 years, because we find that to be more than appropriate amount of time to get things done that we need to get done. And then the marketing fee, currently it's set out at 4% for launch. That's for phase 1. As we shift into more stabilization, we'll probably take that down a couple percent and move those elsewhere. And then further, we have a little more detailed roadmap. Basically, it just sets up, first phase Q4 of 2021 was kind of the setup of the project. Assembling a new team and getting the white paper and project details ready. And then Q1 is where we're currently at with listing, pancake swap, and public launch. We also have a couple coin market cap and coin geckos to get finished. And then Q3 or phase 3, which is the second quarter of 1. We're going to be looking to get a CERTIC on it on all of our contracts for staking, farming, just to secure those and show investors that they're safe, but also show other projects that their tokens are going to be safe if we do decide to partner in a staking partnership. And then we also have a huge announcement, which we just made. But MetaReflect is heading to the Crypto Expo in Dubai. We have a booth there for March 16th to March 18th, the whole expo. And that's super, super beneficial. There's about 10,000 investors and over 300 cryptocurrency companies that go there and scope things out. So we're super excited. We're hoping to make a lot of partnerships there as well, meet some new teams and some other projects. But that's also happening in quarter 1. That's happening in just a few days. Q2 or phase 4.
Who's MetaBagel? Who's actually going out from the team? Then that's great to do that.
So I'm Alex is going because he lives in Dubai, obviously. So he'll be attending there. I believe we'll have another one of our community moderators attending that as well. I unfortunately cannot attend because it's just kind of a lot of flying for me. I live on the other side of the world, but definitely going to be posting a lot of content on that and getting a lot of content from that expo, and hopefully meeting a lot of people as well to further these connections and partnerships. So that's super exciting. We just announced that less than 30 minutes ago, actually. So I don't really think a majority of our community has seen it yet, but they will. And then Q2 of 2022 is when we'll start releasing our Nft Marketplace, as well as we'll start teasing Project Walhalla and releasing the beta version. The reason we're not really pushing forward with a full announcement of the project is because we don't want it to be picked up and replicated before we can. So we're trying to cover our ground and make sure things are kind of finalized before we release that full scale. And then we're going to look to create a DAO for our rotating staking pools, give the community more vote and and what projects are coming on and what projects they can stake, and leave that completely up to them. And then further, you know, we have CEX listings, which we'll be working on constantly, as well as our play to earn game, which will hopefully start picking up, and getting some testing phases in there. And then further down the road is just kind of, you know, depending on what we complete in Q2 and what we still need to do. But that's a little brief look at our roadmap. And now we'll jump over to our dashboard and look at a little more of this. So this is our dashboard. This is going to be where the staking takes place, and also, you know, some analytics on the coin. So when you first come in, you just have a quick little home page. It kind of shows your wallet analytics, how much you're holding, you know, how much you've earned, the 24-hour volume, and how much has been distributed total. And then there's also a manual claim rewards here if you'd like. The rewards will be automatic every hour, but if you do want to claim, you can come here and claim them yourself. And then further down the line, you see a little bit more on the rewards, stake, swap, and feed, and another feature that will be added, which is the NFT Marketplace. And these will just have little introductions of each of the options and what they do. And then looking at our staking pool, or pools, should I say. So we have staking pools right here, obviously not filled with anything yet, but this is what it will look like. You'll be able to come in here, connect your wallet, and then from there, you'll be able to stake your tokens and earn whatever the pool is for. Pretty straightforward on how to use it, pretty easy. We're going to have different types of pools with different locking periods, so that if you want to stake for 30 days, you can. If you want to stake for 15 days, you can. And if you pull out before those time limits are up, then you'll have a small fee to pay just for doing so. That will help fund the staking pools further. But we'll also have a pool that you don't have to wait in, or there's no lock time on that, just for people that don't want to lock their tokens. And then you'll have little further details underneath on how much you've earned, and you'll be able to view the contract of every one of these pools. And this will all be audited by CertiK or another high security audit before it's launched. And then the same thing down below with farms, the same idea, where you'll be able to connect and start farming and getting tokens for that. Moving over, then we have our analytics page. This is just going to show a little intro on the price and volume of MetaReflect. It'll then show the market cap and the cost per trillion coins. And then it will show how much has been burned and how much is staked. So at the start, I think the cost per trillion coins is going to be like 1.3 BNB right off the bat, but that's going to quickly raise, I think. But this is kind of, when we create our wallet, this is kind of going to be what it looks like, except more user focused and wallet focused. So instead of having MRF stats, it'll have, you know, the stats of your individual wallet, how much you hold, how much you stake, you know, kind of what you're earning daily and that kind of stuff. Just so you can analyze your details further. Then looking down, we have About, which takes you back to the website, the Telegram, and Twitter. And this is kind of going to be our dashboard where a lot of things are housed. So this will be growing over time as we launch new things like, you know, NFTs and all of that good stuff. But yeah, that's kind of a little introduction on our project and what it entails. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If I did, I'm sure Alex will get it, but I think that's just about everything with MetaReflect.
Yeah, that was a great presentation for our investors, and yeah, a great introduction. Thank you very much, MetaBagel. So maybe if we can go into some details around the project. You're planning with the Launchpad, all the profits are going to go back to buyback and burns, and as you said, they'll be taxed, which is great for investors, because then that helps the volume and the BUSD rewards. I know most projects sort of do it tax-free, and then there wouldn't be any rewards doing it that way. So That's cool. So how's the project going to pay on the Launchpad in the future? Will it be BNB they pay to launch there?
So yeah, the Launchpad, we're looking into a few different forms of payment. Instead of just outright paying BNB, what we may do is have, if you want to come list on our project, you'll have to buy MetaReflect, let's say like, a BNB's worth at the time you want to come list. And then from there, you'll have to like send it to the Burn wallet or something, or send it to the staking pools, or if we need it to fund somewhere. That way it kind of takes out the, us having to do everything and put the money back into it. So that way, like, we can have money going directly back into MRF, and then those coins can go somewhere else to be to fund an area that's needed. I don't foresee us doing anything like Pink Sale does, where they take 2% of the total supply, because that's just kind of ridiculous. But we'll determine what's best for funding areas of a project, and make that known when we launch, just so that people are aware of how things will work.
Great. And if investors invest in the MetaReflect token, will they be able to get whitelist spots for the projects that launch on the Launchpad?
Yeah. So if you hold over a certain amount of MetaReflect, then you'll get access to the whitelist. There will be different tiers, so to say, which get people different access to amenities for that Launchpad. So, for example, if you hold, I'm not sure the specific value, but let's say you're tier 1, you hold the most, then you'll get access to an in-depth look at kind of a review and a full breakdown of the project, and a further detailed look than just us posting on the platform. So kind of like a
vetting sort of...
Keep going.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just going to ask how you're going to vet sort of projects that come to launch on your Launchpad and in the future.
So we're going to be doing the same thing that Pink Sale kind of does. We'll have partners that are verified for audits and KYC. But for example, like this tier 1 like vetting, so you want to say, that would be something more on the lines of direct doxing to us. So the team would have to dox to us if they want to have this ability, and then we would obviously vet the projects ourselves. That would still require them to get audited and KYC'd, but it would also give us the ability to look into them further and do our research, and put that back out into a report for those people that hold, however much MRF. And I think this is pretty reasonable, just because I've kind of been doing this for about a year now. Just the exact same thing, where I look into projects and kind of do my research and give a report to a community. So I think this will work pretty well.
Okay, awesome. And are you planning different tier levels for projects to launch on the Launchpad? So you'll have like basic packages and more advanced packages?
Yeah. So it'd go both ways with the holders and the projects. Projects will get different tiers, which will give them access to different things, and then investors or people that use the platform will have different tiers depending on how much MRF they hold, which will give them access to obviously different things and more advanced things as you hold more.
Great. And then going over to the P2E gaming, what's planned on the gaming side for the P2E?
So right now we're still in the brainstorming phase. So you want to say, we're going to be hopefully hammering in the final conceptualizations of the game and kind of its characters, its name, its theme, and really get that hammered in. And then we'll be outsourcing the game development, obviously, and we'll start the game development by Q2, no later. Q2 that'll be started, and then hopefully that'll be ready to play by Q4. At least some beta version will be out by Q4, just so we can kind of show people what's going on. But once we get that, once we get all the theme and names and design kind of stuff done, then we'll kind of show people what we're thinking and get it set up for development.
Great. And with the NFT marketplace, what you're planning there? Are you planning a series of NFTs, and would you be able to stake them in the future and use them in the P2E game?
Yeah, so the NFTs, the initials are just going to be, we'll probably do an NFT collection for pre-salers and V1 like migrators. But then the other NFTs, they'll be able to be used in game, but they're also going to be able to be staked if you so choose, and earn more MRF through that. We're starting with just one collection, which will be launched before the game is launched, but it'll be able to be used later down the line in the game. So it'll most likely be character related or like ability related to the game and its theme. But we do have some special collections that we're planning on bringing out for certain events and certain people.
Are you planning a certain audit in the future, or will you have another audit before that one?
We might. So CERTIC is going to be kind of like the kicker, the big all. That'll be one of the last audits we do once things are set in place. Before that, we want to do a high security audit for our staking pools. So that could be something like Desert Finance or something else. But we're kind of trying to make it so that the CERTIC audit is, an audit of our whole ecosystem, so to say, rather than just auditing our contract. And then, 2 weeks later, we have our staking contracts and we need to pay like another 20 grand to get those audited. So we're going to try to kind of wait until most of our things are finished and then get them sent over to audit at CERTIC. Before that, probably, Desert Finance or another high security will audit our staking contracts, if not CERTIC.
And what's the marketing plans after the launch of MetaReflect token?
So marketing, obviously, the first is this Crypto Expo in Dubai. We're going to go there and host that, and then we have PR that will be released weekly, as well as advertisements on PooCoin and through other social media. We also have YouTube campaigns that we'll be starting, as well as TikTok and other social media influencers. And then we'll be continuing to look for other big events like the Crypto Expo that only happen every so often, and we'll be looking to go to those. But average everyday things like CoinTool or Reddit or those places that you can show your projects, those will be happening pretty constant. And then the bigger YouTube campaigns and other campaigns will be kind of announced and set out in different stages.
Great. So I can open it up to the rest of the team. If anyone's got a question for MetaBagel at MetaReflect project, go ahead.
Yeah, hey Glenn, I've been listening in, and it sounds like you guys have a huge ecosystem planned. So I'm curious. You have your launch coming in a few hours. What can we expect to see there, and what's sort of the timeline of the rollout of everything, and what's coming first? Is it going to be the staking pools, NFTs, and then later down going into game, or how do you envision this going into the next couple of weeks to a few months?
So we're going to start with our launch. After launch, our dashboard with staking and farming will be up. We're looking to get the staking and farming contracts audited before, obviously, as I said. So if those aren't audited, then the dashboard will just be ready to use to view your rewards and such, and claim any tokens you need to claim. Once the staking and farming is audited, those will be rolled out. After the staking and farming, we'll be working on the release of our NFT Marketplace and NFT collections. And then after that's released, we'll be working on, well, not, I mean, not working, not like starting, but we'll be looking to get out the play to earn game. And at the same time, we'll be looking to get out one of our bigger utilities, such as Project Walhalla. So because those are like going to be developed by two different teams, and it should be no problem to get them out kind of simultaneously. But both those are going to have to go through testing phases where we can work out all the kinks and make sure things are perfect. So it's kind of starting obviously small with the staking and NFT Marketplace. And then it'll move to the play to earn and the Project Walhalla, as well as the Launchpad. And after that, we'll be really just trying to hammer in and perfect anything that we may have missed previously, and continuing to brainstorm other aspects that we can touch on.
Yeah, it sounds good to have people not wait for something, but have something to look forward to. So that's a pretty fair way of doing it, and because it's a excuse me, because it's a reward coin, basically you have to find a way to balance out the reward, so you need to keep that volume coming and going right at the same time. So
Yeah.
how are you planning to do this? Are you planning to sort of use the funds from the NFT sales to incentivize the pools, and then through there, by people staking, you get more rewards? Or what I'm trying to get is like what's going to be like your sort of main utility that's going to drive the volume needed to keep people interested and to keep people coming?
Yeah. So the way it's going to work is it's kind of going to go in phases, if you want to say. So the first phase is going to be, the NFT or the staking platform, and this is going to be released and launched, and that'll hopefully, when we announce these plans, like these further plans like Project Walhalla, and give more details on those, that'll entice people to kind of use those staking platforms, and put their MRF in there to hold long term. And then with the release of the NFT platform, obviously the sales and revenue generated from that project will be, put back into MRF in some way, shape, or form, whether it's the staking pools, or whether it's directly buying and burning tokens. So that will be kind of, phase two. And then after the NFT Marketplace and NFT collection, it'll move to kind of Project Walhalla and the play to earn game. And the play to earn game is pretty, it's utilize a large portion of tokens that we have set aside. So our Project Walhalla is one of the ways we're going to be bringing in and putting more money, either to directly buy and burn, or buy tokens and send them to the staking pools. But we're also, along the way, will be, as those things are being developed and get set in stone, we'll be funding these through other types of events, so you want to say, or things that aren't fully fledged utilities, but rather just like brief phase, like fundraisers, if so you want to call them, or ways to generate revenue and put back into the project.
Yeah, as like I said, like for me it sounds good, because a lot of owners and a lot of tokens and projects just put everything on the table from the first day, and then people see it for what it is, and then the volume goes down and they start to struggle and they have to come up with new things. But if you have like you have the project Valhalla, right? Like nobody knows what it is. Like people are excited about that, so of course they're gonna wanna get involved with that. So it sounds interesting to me. And you did mention, like, I'll just, like, my last thing here, Glenn. You mentioned, like, for the past year, and you've been sort of soft auditing contracts and looking at all these other projects and teams. Like, I'm curious, like, what's your number one thing, like, learning lesson or like point that you've taken from this past experience, and that you're applying it here to make sure that it'll go as smooth as possible? And is it, I don't know, is it based on community? Is it based on the right marketing? Is it based on the right strategy?
Yeah.
What's sort of your take on that?
So yeah, I've come across a lot of different projects and a lot of people that do things extremely different. They're all successful in their own ways. I think the biggest thing I've seen is hype is a driver of short-term, transparency and honesty is the driver of long-term. So a lot of projects do successful in the short term when they're hype, and they do hype things such as, billboards and celebrity promotions and all that. And that's great. That's a great thing to have. And it shows that kind of like the developers, want their project to succeed, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're in it for the long term. And usually most of the time I saw projects do that. They would die shortly after those promotions or hype events because they have nothing to follow it up with. I've seen the most successful projects are the ones that are kind of just not over promising, but over delivering in a sense. The developers are open about everything. If there's a delay on a utility, then they're there to state that. And, some of the people in the community will FUD, but most will understand that they're looking to make it perfect and not rush to just get it out there. And these projects are always the one that kind of, they'll be hyped off launch and hyped for a little bit, and then they might kind of slowly trade sideways for a couple weeks, maybe a month, and then out of nowhere they'll just blow up because the people that were holding to see these utilities fall into place, they were holding through all the steady times and nothing really happening. But then once those utilities did get launched and were perfect, that's when majority of the people came flocking. So I've kind of just seen that just being open and being honest and just forming a bond with the community is one of the most important things.
Yeah, I tend to agree on what you said. It's super important to have a strong community and have the utilities ready and get in front of anything that might arise. And as long as you're transparent and you show everyone that what you're building and how it works and get people involved with it, I think it can be really successful. Yeah. Thank you for answering. Yeah, sorry for taking too much time.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you for the questions, Acti. I think we can move on to investor questions for the MetaReflect project. So, Syed, you had a question for MetaBagel. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. So I was going through your website and I read that you also mentioned briefly about it, that eligible holders of an MRF token will earn 8% reward from every buy, sell, transfer text in the BUSD. So just to be clear, it's about staking or just by holding?
So that's just holding, just simply holding the coin, you'll get 8%. Every time someone interacts, buys, sells, that'll be distributed amongst the holders. If you want to earn more MRF and hopefully we'll be able to make it so that you can earn more BUSD on your stake token as well, you'll be able to stake those and receive additional rewards on those tokens. But the 8% is flat out for anybody that holds the token.
Yeah, so how can one become eligible for these 8% rewards? What minimum amount they need to hold?
The minimum amount is going to be 100 billion, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Alex could give an exact number on that.
No, I think we updated, but we forgot to update it on the website. So there is no minimum amount to hold to get reflections.
Okay, got it. That would be really great. So my next question is relating to your NFT marketplace. You mentioned that MetaReflect will have their own marketplace, and that will also feature a minting tool that will enable users to create their own NFTs using videos or pictures. So I want to know that what will be the requirements for user to be able to create their own NFTs on your platform, NFT platform, I mean, and do they only have to just pay a gas fee, or users also have to be a native token holder to be able to create their own NFT collection?
Yeah, so we're probably going to look to make it the second part where you're going to have to hold MRF to use the platform. As for different ways that sellers can kind of sell on there, we'll probably do again like a tier system where anybody can sell. I guess it's like pink sell. Anybody can sell, but you may not have like the badge next to your name. But if you want to get the badge and get verified, then you can get KYC'd and hold some amount of NMRF, and you'll get a verified badge, which kind of puts you on the top of exposure lists and kind of in the first thing that everybody sees. So that'll just entice people to get those verified badges and do hold that amount of MRF so that they can sell on the platform and have more exposure than just like being an unverified, just like a casual seller, if you want to call it that.
Okay, so artists or users will also be able to create their own profiles and galleries on the MetaReflect NFT marketplace.
Come again with that? Sorry, I think I lost the middle part of the question.
Yeah, I can repeat that. So users and artists will be able to create their own profiles containing their NFTs to create a gallery on your NFT marketplace.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So my final question, I was wondering, as you guys are developing NFT marketplace, so do you have any plan in future to create NFT staking platform as well, where user can stake NFT after buying them, and some percentage of NFT staking rewards can also go to the original creator of the NFT?
Yeah, so we do have staking for NFTs planned. I haven't thought about giving that option to other sellers or creators on the platform. That was going to only be available for the NFT collections that we create that will be used in our game. But I'm sure we can look further into giving the option for user created NFTs to also be staked.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much, guys.
Yep, no worries. Thank you.
Great. We can move on to a question from Venice. You had a question for MetaBagel. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, Glenn?
Yep.
Okay. Actually, I read on your white paper that your NFT marketplace has a minting tool that enable users to create their own NFT. I want to know that will be any tool like Adobe Photoshop or any other on platform where we can customize or design our NFTs, or we can just upload an image or video to mint it as an NFT.
So as of now, it's just going to be a place where you can kind of upload your NFTs in Mint. The integrated Photoshop, so you want to say, hasn't been looked into. I'm not sure how that would be gone about, just because Photoshop is its own separate thing, and we'd probably have to create our own design tools and that sort of thing. So as of now, it's just going to be a place where you can upload your images or GIFs or videos and mint them, but always the possibility that we are able to complete such a customization like that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
All right, and we can move on. Next question, Aisha, you had a question for MetaBagel. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. I do have a few questions. First, my question is about Project Walhalla. which will be your flagship project, and Project Walhalla will be revenue generating innovation that will support MetaReflect. I was wondering, why did you decide to create the new project to support meta reflection? I mean, wasn't it possible to integrate or add all the new utilities and use cases that Project Walhalla has to already developed meta reflection project?
So the project Walhalla is not, it's not a new project. If so you say, so it's not going to have a new coin or anything. We're calling it Project Walhalla because it is a project. It's going to be a utility that uses MetaReflect and runs off of MetaReflect. So it's not its own ecosystem. If that's what you're thinking, it's going to be integrated directly with MetaReflect and how it works. We just labeled it Project Walhalla because it is technically a project. It's just not another separate BSC project. If that's what you're thinking.
Okay, got it. I was thinking it's a separate project. Got it. Okay, as MetaReflect migrated from previous project Microcenta, I want to know that how are you planning on airdropping the MetaReflect tokens to the previous token holders?
So the way we've done it, and we've already completed this airdrop, was when we had decided to create a new project, we told the group that we were creating a new project, and in order to get liquidity for the new project, it was locked. So the only way you could do that was send your tokens to a wallet. So we gave everybody about a month to get their tokens sent over. Anybody who sent their tokens over in that time span got a 2% bonus on how much they were holding. And then today, we airdropped all of those people, which was about 80 of them, I want to say. We airdropped all of them plus their 2% bonus. And then if anybody else comes to us who was holding MicroSanta but maybe not keeping up with the chat and asks if they can, get their tokens, then we'll airdrop them their respective tokens, but they won't get that bonus. So that's just kind of the best way we saw, because there was a lot of people that were holding but not necessarily keeping up with it, and we'll gladly give them their tokens, but obviously if they're not like there and asking about them, then there's no reason to just airdrop to a wallet that's kind of dead and stagnant for months. But we are more than happy and going to airdrop their tokens if they come to us.
Okay. On your white paper, it's mentioned about, and you also mentioned about play to earn game, which will be focused on the metaverse, and players will be able to earn rewards by logging in, battling against each others, and completing missions. I want to know that, will there be different game modes in the game, and will there be any leaderboard?
Yeah, there will most likely be different game modes and leaderboard. There'll be kind of like a campaign mode where you can do it individually just by yourself, and then there'll be an integrated multiplayer mode where you can play against other people and against other individuals or teams, depending how the game is set up.
Okay, is your own team developing P2E game and metaverse, or any third party or gaming studios developing this game?
Yeah, so it's going to be a third-party gaming studio that will be developing it. We'll be outsourcing it and choosing the team that's. I think Malix has a team in mind that's already very well qualified. Not going to release the name because I'm not exactly positive of it. But all of our bigger utilities, such as Play to Earn Game and Project Walhalla, those will be outsourced to third parties that can get them done in a respective time frame and get them done properly.
Okay, got it. Thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah, no worries.
And we'll move on to Sarah. Sarah, you had a question for MetaReflect project. MetaBagel here, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I just want to ask a quick question, please.
Yeah.
What plans or strategy have you put in place to ensure that your token does not decrease in price value? That it does not suffer from inflation or decrease, but the coin price remains stable. What plans have you put in place to ensure that this actually take place? I don't know if I'm clear enough.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's kind of why we've built these, all these revenues or all these utilities, and kind of thought of all these utilities to help fund the project and create revenue and put it back into the project. There's no telling that all of these utilities are going to, generate as much as we have calculated, but the plan that we have set in stone is to create as many utilities as possible and get them out to the public that will start creating money, and then putting that money back into the project like its own little economic system that kind of funds itself in a way. So that's kind of what we have set in stone for now. In the first phase, what we're most focused on is growth of the community and pulling in the investors that we need to pull in, and then we'll make the transfer to phase two, where we kind of shift the dependency from investors and put it into those utilities and using the profits created from those to fund the project.
That's awesome. That's great. It's okay. Nice project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Well, that's great. Yeah, it's a very interesting project. It's well thought out, well planned. MetaBagels done a great presentation for our investors today. So it's launching in a few hours. MetaBagel. What will be the starting market cap? I don't think it'll be too high.
The starting market cap is going to be, I think, pull it up on KuCoin, but I think it's going to be about $450,000 if I am correct. We can just check that really quick. And don't yeah, $455,000. You already saw there was another one that launched. So if you guys are looking to buy, please get the contract straight from our Launchpad or our Telegram, and don't just blindly purchase, because there's going to be a lot of other tokens looking to put a scam. So you want to say.
Okay, great. Yeah, we always say, anyone listening back to the recording, or if you've still got questions, we can get you safely over to the official MetaReflect Telegram. We have the VC open on launch, MetaBagel. Yeah.
Yeah, we will have the voice chat open on launch. We'll be kind of in there before launch, and then have it open during launch, and keep it open till after launch.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks very much for coming today. It's been great for our investors listening to the MetaReflect project from MetaBagel, and I wish you all the best on the launch in a few hours. If anyone wants to get involved, head over to the official Telegram that we've got in chat, and yeah, it could be a really exciting launch for the project. Now I think we've got spin the wheel, that the fact is doing that today, and we'll pick, like I actually said, a prize for one of the best questions today.
Cool.
Just give me 1 second, Glenn. I'm gonna share my screen here to show everybody the wheel. Okay, I hope it's coming through.